I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where we're working together through the ABRSM Theory Grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. You can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of the time when you're in the exam room working through your exam paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be really fab and encouraging to me, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. And so now we're going to continue with the third paper of the 2017 practice papers. So this is paper C and we're starting with question 3 in this video. So if you turn with me to page 18, we can make a start on that. And as I always say, do have a go of this on your own first of all. Doesn't matter if you go wrong, you'll learn much more thoroughly with making those mistakes. And you're only writing in pencil. I use a mechanical pencil, so it doesn't matter if you go wrong, you can just rub it out and start again. So then I'm hoping you've had a go of this. We'll have a look through this together now. And so we're asked to look at this piece of music by Bach. And then we've got some questions below and we're going to mark the score here just with our answers. And so they've given us question A as an example showing us how they want us to mark the score. And so now we can carry on with question B, which asks us somewhere in bars 1 to 4 of the right hand part, we need to find a subdominant note in the key of D minor. We need to circle and label that note and also say which bar it is. So first of all, let's find out what we're looking for. So D minor, the subdominant, is the 4th. So if we're going D is 1, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're looking for a G in the right hand part. And so we're looking for a G in bars 1 to 4. So we could say that there's one there. There's a G. It's got to be any note in this treble part. There's one here. There's also one here. So any of those will do, and you would mark that B there. So you could say bar 2, or you could also say bar 4 and circle those and just mark your score out so that you can see clearly what you're referring to. Let's move on. So in bars 1 to 4 again, we're looking for a supertonic chord in the first division. We're looking for chord 2B. Again, we're still in D minor, so let's look at, so chord 1 is going to be based on a D, chord 2 is going to be based on an E. We're looking for an E, G, B chord, but we're looking for a 2B, so we're looking for a G in the bass. So let's just glance through and we've got to find the bass note with a G. So here's the first one, here's a G. In fact, there's one here as well, but that's not it. That's got a C sharp. So let's go back. We've got a G here. Let's just write down so we're sure. We've got a G, we've got C, E, G, we've got a G here. We've got B here and an E here. And so that's our E, G, B. And so that's bar 3. And we need to label this here and show that that's answer C. Righty ho, a nice easy one next. We've got to find a tie somewhere in the left hand part. So this is a keyboard piece, and so we need to find a tie in the left hand part. So it's got to be in this bass part, and there's none yet until here. There's our tie. So it's in bars 7 to 8. And we'll just note down on the score, we'll just annotate the score with a letter D to show that that's the answer that we're illustrating. There we go. Next question. We need to write as a breve or a double whole note the enharmonic equivalent of the last note in the top right hand part of bar 5. It's marked with a little arrow here. So we need to be writing an enharmonic equivalent to C sharp, but make sure that we get the correct octave. So let's just have a look at the options. We could call a C sharp, a D flat would be acceptable, or also a B double sharp would do the job. And so let's have a look at that. So it's the one above middle C. So it would be this C sharp that we're trying to replace. So a D as a breve or a double whole note, and that would be flattened, so D flat. Alternatively, we could have the B below that as a double sharp. There we go. Next part is to describe the time signature. We need to say if it's simple or compound, so is it divided into groups of 2 or groups of 3, and then are there 2, 3 or 4 duple, triple or quadruple beats per bar. And so here we're in minim beats or half notes, and you can see straight away we're dividing into groups of 2, and so we know that we're in simple time, and there are 3 beats in a bar. The top number gives us that, and so we're in triple, so it's simple triple. There we go. So let's turn the page now, and we'll go on to page 19. But we need to just keep this other one to hand, just to keep an eye on that little extract that we've been given. There we go. So we need to still keep referring to this extract on page 18. So we need to give the meaning of this symbol that's shown in bar 8 here at the end, and that's a repeat mark. In this case it means repeat back to the beginning or from the beginning. If there was another one of these, you'd bounce between the 2 double bar lines with dots. So in this case it's repeat back from the beginning. That answers it fully. I suppose in its shortest form you could just say repeat, but it's nice to earn every single one of those 2 marks. Now we need to explain what these 2 ornaments are. We need to give them the proper names, X and Y, in bar 2. So X and Y. So X, that's your turn. And Y is the upper mordant or the mordant. Will suffice. You might as well say upper mordant, just to be clear. The mordant on its own always means upper mordant. If there's ever a little line through it, you must always say specifically that it's a lower mordant. So we might as well be specific now as well. So now we need to describe the harmonic interval in bar 6 between the top right and the bottom left hand notes. So in bar 6 we can see here they've shown us the top right and the bottom left hand note. So I'm just going to move this into the same clef. This bottom note is the B flat below middle C, so I'm just going to show what that looks like in the treble clef, just so I can count that more easily. And so you can see we've already extended an octave. We're over an octave, so I'm going to just jump up the octave to this B flat here, and so we've got a compound third. That's the first part of it, and then we need to just be a bit more accurate about describing that. Now B flat, if we're in the key of B flat major would have D flats in, D naturals in it. B flat major has a key signature of B flats and E flats, so D natural is part of that major key, and so we know that that's a compound major third, so we can just go ahead and answer that. So we've got a compound major, oh, third. Alternatively, you could just keep counting and you could refer to it as a major 10th. 1, 3, 5, 7, oh, let me count again. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10. There we go. Yeah, you could just call it a major 10th if you prefer to do so long as you get the major aspect of that correct. A little bit of observation now. Give the time name of the longest note in the extract. So let's just have a look. So we've got lots of semibreves or whole notes. That's the longest so far. Keep looking. There's dotted notes, but the semibreve or the whole note still extends beyond that until this last one here, the very last top note in the right hand, exceeds even that. And so not just if we've got a semibreve, we've got a dotted semibreve or a dotted whole note. So just keep your eyes peeled to the very end. Dotted semibreve, or you would say dotted whole note, whichever terminology you prefer. Just stick to it and stay consistent. And so now some general questions. So we need to name a standard orchestral instrument that could play the bottom left hand notes in bars 1 to 4. So the bottom left hand notes, they're in the bass clef. They're not super low, but they're still in the bass clef. So if we were going to choose the string family, just make that look like it says string. Seem to have lost an N there. There we go. And so if you were looking at that, you'd say the cello. You wouldn't really say the double bass because that would be even lower. It's quite mid-range, even in the bass clef. It's not kind of really low. If you were choosing the woodwind family, you'd say bassoon. And if you were going to choose the brass family, any one of these would do, you would say trombone perhaps, or you could say tuba as well. There we go. And so whatever you've chosen here will dictate what you choose here. So because I've chosen string here, I need to choose another family. And so I'm going to choose the woodwind family for this next question because it asks us for a different family. And the highest sounding member of that would be the flute, or I guess you could say piccolo. If you were choosing a different family here and you wanted to choose strings, you choose violin. If you were choosing brass in this question here, you'd choose trumpet. That's your treble instrument there. Okay, now we've got a little bit of a string question here. Is it correct, is it true or false that a pianist might be asked to play sul ponticello? Well, that is a string term, so that's false. This means to play on the bridge, which is a string term, so that's not appropriate to piano. There we go. Let's move on now. So now we're going to move on to question 4. And we're going to have a look at some scales. So if you turn over the page to question 4, and again, if you haven't had a go already, either just press pause and have a go now, or alternatively you could just listen to the few first sort of explanatory tips, and then have a go. And as I say before, it's always good to have your circle of fifths, and so you've already done the thinking for this question right at the start of the paper. If you're not sure how to do that, there is a video that I've done showing you how to do that, the circle of fifths video, and you can see the link for that in the description below. And so let's just crack on and finish this question 4. So question 4 asks us to write 1 octave descending, so going down. Make sure you don't throw away marks by missing that little bit. It says we need to write the scale of B major, but don't use a key signature. We just need to put in the accidentals. We're using semibreves or whole notes, so there's no need to worry about stems. So first of all, I'm just going to get the blobs in place. I'm going to start high, F, G, A, B there, just so that I know I'm not going to run out of space. Either way, wherever you start, you're going to have to use ledger lines. So if you start an octave lower, that's fine. Space line. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I've ended on a B. So I'm correct there. I've not missed any steps. So B major would have a key signature of F, C, G, D and A sharps. And so if I just go through and add those in, if you're not familiar with the clef, by all means just write your letter names next to the notes. You can always rub them out again. So we want F sharps, C sharps, G sharps, D sharps, A sharps. There we go. That's that one quickly and easily done. And then the next one, we need to write the key signature of 4 flats. So that's the first part of the question. Then we need to write 1 octave ascending. So this is the second part. And we need to make it the melodic minor scale. So the key signature of 4 flats would be B flats, E flats, A flats and D flats. That's the key signature for A flat major or F minor. So let's first of all get our key signature in the bass clef, B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, and because we're ascending, I'm going to start on this low F. We're going up the scale, line, space, line, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've begun and ended on F. That's correct. We've not missed anything. Now, F minor is related to A flat major, so we've got the key signature. However, we also need to remember in the ascending melodic scale, we have to raise the 6th and the 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 need to be raised. At the moment that's a D flat, so we need to raise that to a natural. This is an E flat and we need to raise that to a natural. In the descending melodic minor scale, it's just the key signature only, but because we're ascending, we need to raise the 6th and the 7th. And that completes that question. We'll look at the next questions in the next video. I do hope this is helpful to you. I hope that you're enjoying it. I certainly am. If you can give me a like, that'd be really great. That'd be encouraging to me. Thank you. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please also do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.